When you're talking about when you go out to a mall, what you're seeing on Christmas, that's an affront to me, to the idea of a Christian Christmas, at least the ones that I was raised around. It seems to me that's more offensive to see it bought and sold in candles and...
Yeah.
An affront is an insult of some type, which could be a public insult where someone says something negative to someone in front of a group of people, or even in private. An affront can also refer to somebody's behavior, which another person considers to be offensive, and oftentimes because they had what they thought was a pretty decent relationship with the person. So, for example, if someone heard about someone talking behind their back and they thought they were a friend, then they would consider that behavior to be an affront because it's an insult to their perception of what they thought the relationship was. Various words, a lot of words that used to be used more commonly, even up until a few years ago, nowadays a lot of people consider to be an affront. There's been a lot of controversy lately over sports teams naming their teams after Indians or Native Americans. For example, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Washington Redskins, the Cleveland Indians, the Atlanta Braves, and where different Native American groups consider that action to be an affront to their dignity. So they want the sports teams to change their names. Also, there have been some cartoons of Muhammad lately, which Muslims in general have considered to be offensive, and they consider also to be an affront to their religion, a high insult.
Problem doesn't exist,
Right.
and it makes what Rolling Stone did even more egregious in a situation like this, and the fact that like this is a problem that needs to be addressed in this country that's not quite being addressed in this country in a real way.
Egregious is when something is conspicuously bad or offensive. Generally, it will mean that something is bad beyond the normal. So if someone were to get egregiously drunk, they weren't just drunk, they were very, very drunk. Or if somebody gets into an argument with someone, and it's an egregious argument, it's not just a normal argument, it's a very severe, offensive argument. Or similarly, also it's used for injuries, where people might get into a fight, but neither one of the people is severely injured. But if somebody gets severely injured in what was supposed to be not a serious fight, that would be an egregious injury. For example, if somebody were to get their arm broken, or if they had to get 20 stitches, or they had to go to the hospital because of kidney damage, those would all be egregious injuries, because the assumption is that you're not supposed to go to the hospital even if you do lose the fight. The injury should be within the realm of normal expectations. At the Grammy Awards this year, once again, Kanye West demonstrated egregious behavior because he stepped right up onto the stage to contest the award for Best Album. In journalism, lying is usually considered to be egregious behavior. So when Brian Williams was caught lying, he was suspended for 6 months from NBC News.
Out there right now. Oh, well, the studio had a little bit of a ruckus. We'll have to see what that's about.
A ruckus is a disturbance or a commotion. It appears to come from the word rumpus, which also means the same thing, a disturbance or a commotion, but ruckus apparently ended up sounding better. So people now talk about ruckus more than rumpus. Okay, so other synonyms for ruckus would be a disturbance, a commotion, a racket, a noisy situation. I was in the bank the other day and somebody thought they got cheated and they made a big ruckus right in the middle of the bank until the manager came out and tried to straighten everything out. There's a large toy store in my neighborhood, but I don't like going there very much because the kids are always making too much of a ruckus in the middle of the store.